Hey, welcome everybody. It's Tony Porter. I hope everybody's doing well. It is Universal Baseball Association YouTube channel, and remember to like and subscribe. Here we are with a Fall Classic Baseball. I'm replaying the 1980 Billy Ball A's, and I thought you guys would be interested in this game. It is 1-0. We are in the we are in the top of the sixth inning. It is Baltimore visiting Oakland. We are at Oakland Alameda County Coliseum. On the mound is Rick Langford, who almost completed 33 games started, 28 complete games. And I got to turn this off because otherwise we're going to be getting annoyed here. Let me turn that off. All right, so that's the deal right now. Let's get started. The infield for the A's, it's third base. Let me bring that up for you so you can see a little bit better. Let's see. Oh, I got to get that on top real quick. There we go. All right. So the infield for the A's, it's Klutz, Guerrero from, of course, third to first, McKay, and Newman. Behind the plate is Jim Essien, the former White Sox. Langford is on the mound, and the outfield, it is an outstanding outfield with outstanding arms. They have a ton of assists for me. Henderson, Murphy, and Armas, right? And all have excellent range and low errors. And I think Armas has the highest error rating, but they all have excellent arms, so they do throw out a lot of players. All right, so let's see what's going on here in the game. It's 1-0. A's are up. They scored a run in the second inning. How did that happen? I'm glad you asked. Let's take a peek at how that happened. Scorecard in the second inning. All right. So, RBI. Okay, so it was a strikeout, a flyout. It was a single by Armas, a walk to Newman, then a wild pitch in that inning. And then in the next inning, okay, there it is. It was a single and an error, so runner went to second. Then it was an RBI single by Jim Essien, and that's how the A's got their run. It is 1-3-1 for the A's so far. Gary Renicky leads off against Rick Langford, who is really shutting down the Baltimore Oriole offense. The lineup is Bunbury, Sakata. Just think about these names if you remember any of these names from your childhood, from your youth. Bunbury, Sakata, Singleton, Murray, Crowley, Graham, DeCinces, Renicky, and Garcia. So we're at the bottom of the order in Gary Renicky. Let's roll some dice. This is Fall Classic Baseball. If you play APA or if you play Stratomatic Basic, this game is very easy to pick up. It is basically roll and results. Barely any chart lookups. There's only the chart of runner advancements. This is the one chart that you will need, and it's easy to memorize pretty much. This is a little bit harder to memorize, but you can also memorize it, the singles and the doubles. All right, so the runner advancement on those, and of course you have an exotic error ever so often, but that's not very often. All right, so it's Renicky. Let's roll. Rick Langford winds and deals. It's a 53 with a 5. That's not going to be high enough for a K, so this could be a range base hit, and it looks like it's going to be the first base hit of the game unless Murphy is a 15 in center field, and I believe that Murphy in center field is a 14. So this is a little blooper. Texas Leaguer. Will Murphy get to it to basically keep the no-hitter going? Let's check and see. I don't think he's a 15. I think he's a 14, and he dives, and he does not make the catch, and that's the first hit of the game. So just like that, I go to record the tabletop game and immediately gives up a hit. It always works that way. So Kiko Garcia is going to square, and that's going to be a good bunt. The catcher picks it up. Yeah, very easy, simple. Whereas APA has like an 8-page booklet, right, which is totally unnecessary for a bunt to have an 8-page booklet. There's only 3 things that can happen. I think sometimes it's 4 things. Bunbury with a runner at second base, 1 out. Langford, the pitch, and that's a 31. Now that's a range play. Nobody's going to get this one, and that's going to be a ground ball past the diving shortstop, who knocks it down and keeps Renicky at third. So a little bit of bad luck here for Rick Langford. A couple of questionable hits. A 31, I make it into a range hit, and it's to the shortstop. Guerrero's only a 10, so he'll knock it down, keeps it from going to the outfield. But Bumbry's at first, Renicky's at third, Sakata in the top of the sixth. We are going to bring the infield in, and it's Len Sakata, who is a contact guy pretty much, relatively speaking. Let's do it. He was a 190 hitter. And here is the pitch, and that's going to be a 61, which will be a swing and a miss, and he strikes out on the slider. So that's a big out here for the second out of the inning, and here is Kenny Singleton now. Kenny Singleton, probably their best clutch hitter at 304 for the season, 24 RBIs in that 1980 season, which I enjoy so much, especially the A's with all their complete games. Love the complete games. So Singleton, the pitch, and that's a 56. Strike three is called, and that retires the side. And the Orioles, they leave a couple of men on, and the A's go into the bottom of the sixth, leading 1-0. Holy smokes. So Langford had a little bit of bad luck with little bloopers dropping in, and it is Mike Flanagan on the mound for the Orioles. Flanagan was 16-13 that season, 12 games, 12 complete games. Here is Newman, Jeff Newman. Hello, Newman, 63, and that's a bouncer to third base. The Senseis with the accurate throw, one down. Randy Elliott gets the start today with a 24, and he'll bounce again, pulls one to third, and the Senseis handles it. And with two outs, it's Mickey Klutz. Mickey Klutz is 1 for 2 today. He's batting .256 on the season. The pitch, and a 63, which will be a fly ball, center field. Bumbry. 3 up, 3 down. Eddie Murray leads off. Murray batted .300 with 32 home runs and 116 RBIs. And a 34 will be a ground ball up the middle, and that's a base hit. So he muscles a ground ball through the infield, and Murray is on at first. Here is Terry Crowley. He's a good hit-and-run guy. There goes the runner, and a 5 will go to the first baseman. So runner will advance here, puts him into scoring position. So Crowley does his job, and here is Dan Graham, who batted .280. The pitch, and that's a 26, and against a righty, that's going to be a ground ball and past the diving McKay with a 20. We can run with risk and try to score with 1 out. I usually run with risk. So let's see. Who we have a really good offense, good arms out there. I don't know if I want to do it because we got to use the assist rating. But with 1 out, it's usually I do it. So let's do it. And it's going to be to the right fielder, and the right fielder is Armas. And Armas got an excellent arm. He's got a 5, so 1 to 5, and he is out at the plate, and the runner will give runner the extra base. So how do you do this? You get a single right F9, right? 1B F9. Then you go runner on second, out 2 bases, and then we go runner on there, gets an extra base, and we should have it. It should work out. Graham should be on second base. Yep. So we got a play at the plate. Murray heading for home. Here comes the throw, and Murray is out. And Graham advances to second base. Doug DeCinces is up now. And let's do it. So runner at second base, 2 outs, 1-0 A's. Doug DeCinces, who was a .250 hitter with 16 home runs. Here's the pitch, and that's a 31 and a 2, and that's going to be caught because that's a range play, but with a 2, it's going to be caught by the shortstop. Makes the play over to first in time, and again, Langford manages to get out of a tight spot. All right, we go to the bottom of the seventh inning stretch. Take me out to the ballpark, grab that brewski. And we still have 2 starters that can go okay. We're going to try to push them a little bit. Jim Essien. And a 64 will be a fly ball. Backing up is Bunbury. 1 out. Mario Guerrero with a 46 and a 10. And here in Oakland, that's a right-hander. That's popped up foul territory. First baseman near the stands makes the catch. That's a foul out. And next up is McKay with a 46. And this time's a 4. That's going to be a foul ball. Pulls it foul into the seats. Here's the pitch again. That's a 54. What is that going to be? That's going to be a knockdown by the pitcher. Could be an error. Will be an error. And runner will advance. An E1 runner advances an extra base. So McKay should be, pulls up at second base on the error by Flanagan. Flanagan's out of gas pretty much. So we're going to pull Flanagan here very quickly. Let's see. Let's pull our buddy Flanagan and see who we're going to bring in. Long guy named Ford. Oh wait, he has 152 usage. So let's pull somebody else. Hold on a second. Let's grab somebody else. This guy Herzl, Paul Herzl. We're going to grab him. So let's grab Herzl. Let's see what kind of stuff he will have. He will have his B stuff. And it's Paul Herzl. 6 games, 18 innings pitched. Hasn't appeared yet. Well, he's appeared a little bit. All right, cool. I could call also on a guy named Jimmy Stewart. And then who else do I got? Tim Stott. Oh, no, Tim Stotter's tired. Everybody else is tired. Based on the previous series that I don't know about, right? Because my Digital Diamond Baseball plays all the series for me. So this tells me, hey, these guys got tired from the previous game. Because otherwise I wouldn't know that. I would use those guys. And it's kind of unfair to always have the best guys available to face your team when you're doing that replay. So if that's what you're doing, you got to rethink it, my friends. Because if you're just thinking you have everybody available every single game that this other team comes into town to face your team, that's wrong. All right, that doesn't make any sense. And I did that one time, and I remember I had decimated batting averages for everybody. I couldn't figure it out. And I think it wasn't until the following year that I learned more about the game, the APA, right? Not this game. When I started out as a kid, I realized that I was always using the top. So when I would go face the Brewers, I would face their top 3 hitters on the list. Their top 3 pitchers. And then when I faced Baltimore, I would face their top 3 pitchers. And then when I faced Boston, I would face their top 3 pitchers. And I never just took all the starters and mixed them up, put them face down, and just pulled a random guy. Because back then, I didn't have access to all the data we have today, right? So we can make a much accurate, extremely better, more accurate replay than we could back in the day. Because you could get the information, but it was tricky. I remember having to plan out and to strategize to get my schedule, just to get the schedule and to know who played when and how and so on. But you never, unless if you tried to do the whole replay of the whole American National League, that would take you 10 or 13 years. And there are guys out there that every so often they come on, yeah, I'm in my 13th year and I only got 20 games to go. So I was like, no, I'm playing so many different seasons. I want to start a 1982 California Angels. Because in the late 70s and early 80s, I thought California was a fun team. They had a lot of interesting players. They had Baylor, they had Rudy, they had Grich. Later they got a bunch of other players that were really good. And I always thought they were exciting. And in 82, they were very, very close to getting to the World Series. Anyway, here's Ricky Henderson. Ricky Henderson in our rate plays batting .316. In reality, he batted .303. Got 200 bats. He's got stolen base-wise, he's 35-9. In reality, he was 126, so he's right on target, man. Amazing. All right, so here's Ricky Henderson, runner in second, 2 outs. Paul Herzl, the pitch, and that's a 25, and that'll be a fly ball left field. Towards the line is Renicky, and Renicky runs it down to retire the side. All right, leading off for Langford is Renicky. Here's the pitch. I need 1, 2, 3 easy outs. It's a G6. Kiko Garcia, I'm going to pinch hit for him. Let's pinch hit for him. Let's see who we're going to... We want a lefty, a lefty. We got Pat Kelly. We'll bring in Pat Kelly. So pinch hitters come in for Garcia. The pitch from Langford and the 33. That's going to be ball 4. Not only is it ball 4, but there's a steal, automatic steal sign on there. So what I do, I can use that 20, but if it's a 1, it's possibly going to be an error on the pitcher. Maybe not. Oh, it's a 1. Now I got to roll. I got to roll a D20 again to see if it's an error on the pitcher. Let's see. Here's the other D20. And it is not. It is not. That is way too high to be an error on the pitcher. Okay, so it is going to be a stolen base. Oh, no, he's out at second base, right? He's out. He's out at second base unless he's a 20. Pat Kelly goes to 18. Let me see my catcher. My catcher has a weak arm. Essien does not. Essien actually has a strong arm, so that brings it down to 16. So he is out, thrown out at second base. Essien, highlighting the cannon. All right, so it's a runner on stolen base. Runner on first is out. So Pat Kelly is thrown out trying to steal. Exciting little. All right, result there. Bunbury, Al Bunbury leads off. Bunbury batted .320 with 29, 9, and 9. Triples and home runs. He had the same, 9 and 9. All right, here's Al Bunbury against Langford. And Langford's getting tired, 63, so we're going to have to push him just a little bit. But he gets the fly ball to right. And that retires the side. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Murphy leads off against Hartzell, 53 with a 1. Struck him out. Just struck him out. Oh, I got to make a quick change over here. I need it tells you I need a shortstop. So we're going to get our boy. Where's our boy here? Belanger's going to come in and play short. Mark Belanger, he will play short. Bat 9th. Not a very good hitter, but he can play short. All right. So that's going to be a strikeout on Dwayne Murphy for Hartzell. Checks his swing, but they ring him up. Doesn't like it. Here goes Tony Armas now. Pitch, and that's a 43, and a 43 will be a drive to center field. On the run is Bunbury, and Bunbury catches up to it. So that's 2 away. And now it is Jeff Newman, the pitch, and a 12 will be a bouncer. Second baseman, Sakata, and that retires the side. All right, so we're going to try to get a complete game for Langford. If he gives up, we'll see what we do here. We'll see. Here's a pitch. And it's a 61. That should be a swing and a miss. Struck him out with the fastball. So Sakata goes down on strikes. Next is Kenny Singleton. And that's a 26. And that's a ground ball base hit. So we're going to have to reduce our boy by 1 column. Going to reduce him by 1 column. The tying run is at first base. He's slow, so there's going to be a pinch runner. Let's see who that pinch runner is going to be. Let's see. Let me look at the cards. Rich Dower, is he available? Yeah, he's fast. So Rich Dower will come in to steal. If he's a real good base stealer, I will just send him. I don't see him as a great base stealer here. There he. Oh no, 305. Well, he gave. Not very good. All right. So here's Murray. Eddie Murray's a switch hitter. Good hit and run guy. We could do that. Let's try it. There goes the runner. And it's going to be an 8 with a 35. And final check for a single. It is a 1-2 single, but that's an 8. So that's an 8 ground ball to second base. That'll advance the runner. Puts the runner, the tying run, in scoring position. G4. I moved the wrong group. All right. Terry Crowley, the lefty, against Langford. All right. Langford's got 5 complete games in 10 starts, so he's really struggled completing games. He's got a good ERA, but he's, for some reason, and only 13 walks in 81 innings. I don't know. Always had to push him a little bit beyond his endurance to get those complete games. which isn't right. Because even on the system, he's got 36 batters faced, which that should be a 38. That should be definitely a 38. Let's see how many he's faced so far in the game. Okay, he has faced so far. Oh, it doesn't tell me how many he's faced. Oh, let me see if it does on the. Hold on. Oh, yeah, he's faced 34 batters. That's what I don't understand. Anyway, all right, here's Terry Crowley. Crowley is batting .351. He's got 2 doubles, no triples, 4 home runs, 57 at bats. He was a .288 hitter with 12 home runs in that season. So Terry Crowley produced in 1980. Still producing in 1980. I had him in a 1920s, early 1970s league. All right, Langford's going to face who's next? He would face Dan Graham. Dan Graham, a .280 hitter. I don't want to put the go-ahead run on base. Here's the pitch. If this was Aaron Judge, I would walk him. The pitch, and that is a 12 and a 1-4. That's ball 4. I roll at 1. That's bad luck. Langford has a lot of bad luck. So he walks Crowley, which is going to force me to move Langford to his C stuff. And here's Dan Graham, another lefty. Let's see. They got the tying run at second base. There's 2 outs. So the Orioles are down to their last out with a tiring Langford. Out goes Essien to talk to Langford. Langford is from the set position against Graham. Here's the pitch, and a 32 will be a hard hit ball to left field. Coming hard is Henderson, and Henderson with the sliding catch, and the ball game is over. So it's a line out to left, and that's the ball game, my friends. The A's win at the final score. A's 1, Baltimore nothing. Langford gets pushed to the max. He does go. That is, let me see how many batters he went. Hold on, let me close this out. Because he's supposed to go up to 36 batters, but then I reduced him for endurance, for tiring, to to be fair. So let's look at the box score. It usually tells you how many batters he faced, because I don't think that 34 was the right number of batters, but maybe I'm wrong. Let's see. Langford 87, game scored. He said pitches thrown 140. But that's how Billy Martin played the A's. Nowhere I can see how many pitches he threw. There must be a place for that. Anyway, what batters he faced, not pitches he threw, batters he faced. That's what I was looking for. Anyway, that's the game. The Athletics, they improve. Oh, they get to 500, right? 27 and 27. Baltimore's 24 and 29. Langford gets the victory, and he's the player of the game. Let's look at his stats. Langford gets the win. He's 6 and 3, 9 innings pitched, 5 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. Brought his ERA down to 3.26, a little bit lower than I think it was. But he had an excellent whip that season. On my offense, Armas went 1 for 3, batting .270. Klutz went 1 for 3, batting .250. Essien went 1 for 3, batting .270. I only had 3 hits compared to the Baltimore Orioles 5. Hey, remember to join Fall Classic Baseball Facebook group. You get a lot of fun stuff on there. And I'm your host, Tony Porter. Remember also to join Universal Baseball Association Facebook group. And I will see you guys soon. Take care.